WWE superstars dating has been a common thing in the WWE locker room for decades. The romantic antics of pro wrestlers has been met with, mixed results. There's been the likes of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who have been happily married for almost 20 years, but there have also been the likes of Mickie James and John Cena, whose relationship didn't quite work out, and consequently impacted one of their respective careers. There are also those WWE stars who go on one or two dates and one of them decides to turn down the fellow wrestler. Which wrestlers were they? Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE stars who romantically rejected a fellow WWE superstar. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10. Batista and Kelly. According to former WWE champion Randy Orton, Kelly has dated up to 10 WWE superstars, but we only know a few of these names. We know Kelly definitely dated Test, and there was a rumored romance with Chris Jericho, but this was never confirmed. We also know that in 2008, Kelly began to date the Animal Batista. Now, there is a rather substantial age gap at the time, as Kelly was just only 21 years old, and this is eventually why Batista decided to turn her down. Batista believed that Kelly was immature and had a lot of growing up to do, and he consequently turned down any plans for them to make their romantic ventures any further. Number 9. Matt Hardy and Ashley Massaro. 2005 was a turbulent year for Matt Hardy. He found out that his longtime girlfriend Lita had been cheating on him with fellow WWE superstar Edge. Following a brief time away from the WWE, he would return and had to work with the two people that had broken his heart into pieces for real. A short time after the relationship with Lita ended, Hardy went on a number of dates with Ashley Massaro, and it appeared as if the two got close and maintained a healthy relationship. It was rumored at the time that Hardy turned down Massaro, and there were reports at the time that indicated that it was possible that Hardy was still in emotional distress over Lita, and he still needed time to heal. Number 8. Cody Rhodes and Layla. Now, most fans associate Cody Rhodes' love life with his romance with wife Brandi Rhodes, but Cody actually dated a former Divas champion in 2009. Cody would date Layla during Cody's early days in the WWE, and it appeared as if the two were on great terms until the two suddenly stopped dating due to unforeseen circumstances. It's kind of unclear what happened to cause the end of their relationship, but what we do know is that Layla began to date Ricky Ortiz shortly after they parted ways, so it's likely that Layla was the one who ended the romance between the two. Number 7. Wade Barrett and Alicia Fox. Total Divas viewers will know that Wade Barrett and Alicia Fox used to date. Now, this was around 2014 and the two apparently got on extremely well, but it was Fox who believed that the two would be better off being friends. It was never explained how long the two were dating, as there were rumors that the two were on and off for a number of years. Fox also notably dated a WWE executive, but she terminated this relationship after Fox discovered that that individual in question had lied about his age. Ouch. Number 6. Mike Knox and Melina. Melina has a decorated and infamous love history as she's dated the likes of John Morrison and Batista. But before Melina dated either of these men, she actually dated former WWE star Mike Knox, if you actually remember him. Melina dated Knox for a period until Melina cheated on Knox and Knox called their romance off. Knox publicly stated that Melina broke his heart, but he insists that the two are good friends to this very day. This is supported by Melina, who also claims that the two remain on good terms, as she even cited Knox as being one of the best guys she's ever known. Number 5. CM Punk and Maria. Now, before finding the love of his life in AJ Lee, CM Punk dated the likes of Beth Phoenix and Lita, but he also dated former WWE superstar Maria. This took place when Punk was in WWE's developmental territory known as OVW, and it was believed that Punk called the relationship off once he was called up to the main roster. Maria was rather bitter about the relationship ending, as in interviews after the relationship ended, she was open about the fact that she wasn't romantically over the straight-edge superstar. Number 4. Alberto Del Rio and Charlotte Flair. Now, when Alberto Del Rio returned to WWE in 2015, he got a huge push. He would defeat John Cena for the US title at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and it looked set to be presented as one of the major players in the company. Del Rio also seemingly found a new romantic interest when he began to date the then Divas champion Charlotte Flair. It was said that the romance between the two was very brief, and it was unclear what led to them parting ways. It's likely that this was Del Rio who called things off with Charlotte, as just months after their breakup, Del Rio was publicly dating fellow WWE superstar Paige. And safe to say, Charlotte dodged a bullet, and Charlotte would happily begin to date Andrade a number of years later. Number 3. Kurt Angle and Dawn Marie. During the Ruthless Aggression era in WWE, it was rumored that Kurt Angle and Dawn Marie began to secretly date. The issue with this was that both were in seemingly happy relationships, so this was a huge scandal which rocked WWE. The two would deny that they had an affair for a number of years, but this was until 2008 when Dawn publicly admitted that the two did in fact date each other behind closed doors. Karma would come back to bite Angle a few years later as his wife Karen Angle would actually leave him to date TNA founder Jeff Jarrett. TNA being TNA, they naturally decided to turn this into a real-life storyline which dominated their programming for a number of months. Although Karen and Jeff both claim that their romance began once Kurt and Karen had officially separated, it's a common urban legend that their love affair began long before their separation. Number 2. Batista and Rosa Mendes. Rosa Mendes dated a number of WWE superstars during her time in the company. These included the likes of Santino Marella and Jackson Andrews, but she did also date former WWE World Champion Batista. Yep, that's right, Mendes joins the long line of women that Batista has dated, and this romance apparently took place during 2009, and it was Batista who called things off. Looking at the timelines of Batista's WWE return, it looks like their romance came to an end just as Batista was getting set to leave the company to start his Hollywood career. This likely explains why Batista decided to call things off, as it would have been extremely hard to maintain a relationship when one individual in the relationship is a full-time actor, whilst the other is a full-time WWE superstar and on the road all the time. And number 1, John Cena and Victoria. 2002 saw the introduction of John Cena on WWE television. Cena had an interesting first year in the company, and there were actually rumors that they were going to release him as he was struggling to connect with the audience. This was before he debuted his Dr. Thugonomics character and his charisma and star power came to surface. Interestingly, during this rookie year in WWE, Cena actually dated a fellow star on the roster, that being Women's Champion Victoria. There was a rumor of their romance for years, and that was until 2012 when Victoria confirmed their romance in an interview with Figure 4 Online, and during the interview, Victoria stated, "I dated John for about a month. It was not in 2006 or 2007. It was in 2002. It was when we were both in Louisville. I was married but separated. John was single. I was never his road girlfriend. I know that when we separated, my husband also dated a couple of girls. That's what happens when you're separated. In 2002, it was common knowledge that John and I dated. I fed the rumor mills for people who have nothing better to do than gossip like old ladies." It looks like Victoria was the one to call things off with Cena, as after Cena and Victoria's brief romance, Victoria rekindled her relationship with her husband and the two were married until 2015. But there you have it folks, 10 WWE stars who romantically rejected a fellow WWE superstar. Have you heard any others? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.